Well, we got a chance to review the film yesterday with the team, and the positives and the negatives, what we can take away from it and build on and then correct. But the moment that was over, we got on the field last night and moved on to Appalachian State. And again, vastly improved team from last year till now. You can see it. You can see the last 3 or 4 ball games they played last year, beating Georgia Southern, where my cousin was at, soundly. The improvement that they've made, especially on the offensive side with the offensive line they've got returning the quarterback, and the scheme that they run, which presents a number of problems. And Coach Satterfield's done a great job. It's always hard coming in and taking over for a guy like Jerry Moore, who's there for so long. But he's putting his stamp on the program, and I see a much improved football team. And we're going to have to play our best this weekend to give ourselves a chance to win, and I'm positive we will.
They have an extra week to prepare for you guys. So what's it like knowing that you have to play a team that has maybe that extra week of extra time to rest up for you guys?
Well, the rest, I'm not always sure how that affects it. There's times in my career I've thought, okay, we get the bye week, and for our players that's great, and then we come out sluggish and we have the extra week, or we've got the extra week and we get some guys back health-wise. It's always good from a health standpoint. This early in the year, I don't know. Now, from a schematical standpoint, you have a chance to look and dissect and how do we want to do this, and formation them. You get a chance to really hone up on some special plays. So we've got to be dialed into anything from onside kicks to punt fakes to different types of punt rushes that we haven't seen in the past. Formationally doing things a little bit different. That's what you get out of a bye week. You get to work on a few things that you don't have in a normal week. So those are things we have to be geared up for. But in the end, the high percentage of what they do, just like us, with or without a bye week, it's what you believe in. It's going to be the core of what you run offensively and defensively. Because if you change too much, that meant you didn't believe in what you ran previously. So we've got to be dialed into what they do, what problems it creates for us, and then how we go from there.
It looks like the core of what they do offensively is run the football pretty well. I mean, they've got 4 guys that are averaging more than 5 yards a carry. So
well, they've got 2 good young running backs, Upshaw and Cox, both stout, powerful guys that are quick. Their quarterback's athletic, really does a good job decision making, and then they put you in run-pass conflicts. So what they do is they're not going to beat you throwing the ball, quick game. They know what they're going to do is they're going to run it and they're going to try to throw it down the field. And so we've got to do a great job of eliminating eye violations, putting them in passing situations, and then try to get after them. That's true with every team, but they're going to pose the same problems we've had in all 3 games, starting with Mississippi State, an athletic quarterback, and then Alcorn, and then when Sims was in for Alabama. They're going to do similar things. We've just got to do it better and find a way to eliminate the explosive plays and make them go the distance.
Early at Alabama, you guys were airing it out, giving Nick Mullins a chance to hit the man-on-man, one-on-one coverage. Are you guys going to look to reestablish the run against App State?
Well, I want to be balanced. I think good football is being balanced. The problem is it's hard to be balanced against someone that's that physical. We thought our best chance to move it was to let Nick throw it, give our guys a chance to make plays on the perimeter. And some of that was dictated by them. Some of those plays we made were, one was a 3rd down play against man, one was a run play that, we ran a go route and Nick threw it to him. So it was part of a run play, as a lot of people are doing run with throws on the perimeter. So again, some of that was a creature of what they were doing. Some of it was also we had some plays we wanted to get in to try and get explosive plays. How could we create formations? How could we run different pass combinations, give ourselves to get a chance to get explosive plays? And some of the times we did, and when we did, obviously gave ourselves a chance to score.
what kind of problems do they pose defensively? Like, what do they do really well defensively that you guys are going to have to look out for?
Defensively, they're different than our guys. Our guys are 4 down. There's a 3 down front. They'll kick down some and play their boundary outside backer, which becomes basically 4 down. But that's the only thing, is just the communication, just the amount of reps you've had against it. We've been able to go up against a little bit against Alcorn, and we've worked on it in camp, in training camp we did. But again, it's just a communication. That's all it is. It's not difficult. They're sound. They do a good job. They're well coached. They play hard. It's not difficult. It's just different. That's all it is. How do we communicate? Get on the right guys so we don't give up something. I mean, to where we turn somebody loose and we get a lost yards player, a turnover based on a missed assignment.
Seems like that's getting better communication on offense. I mean, you talked a lot about after Saturday about Nick's improving in that area, and it seemed like the offensive line was doing a better job as well.
They were. Nick got the ball out quickly. We've got to shore up a few things up front with twists and different things that they presented to us, and we threw it a little bit more of it. If that's what we're going to do, we need to work it during the week. We probably did a disservice to those guys, but as the game kept progressing, we thought that was the best way for us to move it. But I thought they communicated better. We didn't pass things off as well as we would have liked the pass game. I thought we communicated better. Although we communicated better when we wanted to go fast, when we wanted to do certain things, I thought we communicated better. It's still about communication, how we do it better than they do it, and good football still wins. We didn't turn it over, which is a huge part of winning 2 games in a row. So we're on the right track there. Nick will take care of the ball. We haven't fumbled it. So again, that's the biggest thing is how do we continue to do it better and not turn it over.
You talk about not turning it over, and it's only been 2 games, but does that still help create an identity that other schools know, to beat Southern Miss, you're going to have to do it without, having the turnover because these guys aren't going to turn the ball over?
I don't know if they would view it like that. I think, going into a game, you're going to tell your defense you got to create turnovers, and part of that is disrupting. How do you affect the quarterback? How do you put yourself in position to strip it from a ball carrier? So, again, I don't know what that means to the opponent. I know for us, it's everything. It's everything we did. It's giving yourself a chance, and when you don't turn it over, at least you punt it and make them go the distance. That you want the game to change in a hurry, turn it over. And that's what we did last year, and that's why we ended up where we were last year, is because we turned it over. We had a hard time protecting and running it, so we put ourselves in harm's way. So eliminating that's the key to everything we do.
We don't hear much about Appalachian State down here, but if I recall, weren't they in the running for D2 national championships and beat Michigan?
Well, if my memory recalls, they won 3 1AA or FCS national championships, and they beat Michigan, I think Lloyd Carr's last year, in a historic upset up there against a good Michigan team. And they've had a storied tradition of winning, and now moving up to, Division I and FBS. You can see that, and the quality of player that they're going to continue to get to build on that. So again, we're going to have to play our best to win this week. And like I said, I anticipate we will. I anticipate we've been building. We've gotten better each week. The key guys have gotten better, and we'll have to play well this week.
On the defensive side of the ball, what you guys have to face, what are you expecting the most from their passing game?
Well, again, it's all built into how they run it. And the eye violations and the run-pass conflict they put you in. And so it's our job it all starts up front. They're good up front. They didn't look out of place against Michigan. They've got 5 quality returning starters that have played together. And so the bottom line is if we put ourselves in situations where they're comfortable with their play calls, that's against everybody, but this week, then we're going to be in a position to where you're going to get the safeties more involved, you get the secondary more involved, which everybody's trying to do, and then you're susceptible to big plays. That's the way it is. So the reality is, how do we do it up front? How do we stop them and make them one-dimensional? That's how do we get them to where we can stop them or at least contain their run game, make them throw it with conventional third down throws. And that, again, easier said than done, but it starts up front. It starts with us being able to get after them and force them into throwing situations.
I know it's on Monday, but how close to 100% do you think you guys will be health-wise on defense for Saturday?
We're banged up. I mean, we had 3 or 4 guys got banged up pretty good. Won't know anything. We probably had a couple guys that didn't go last night. But with today and then tomorrow and then playing at home, in front of their friends and family, I anticipate that we'll have most of them back. But we'll see tomorrow. Don't know anything till then.
How do you assess the first quarter of the season? You always talk about breaking the season down into quarters.
Well, again, as I've said before, it's hard to assess. You've had a couple really good opponents that we've played that have a way of exposing your weaknesses. So, but I do think that we've improved from top to bottom, from coaching staff to what we want to do, how we want to do it, till this point. I think it's looked better in certain areas, not everywhere, but in certain areas. So that part of it, we've got to find a way to score touchdowns. We've attempted 10 field goals. That's embarrassing. I mean, there's no way we can be the football team we want to be if we don't figure out how to score in the red zone and score zone, get explosive plays and score touchdowns. So that's probably the biggest thing, is that part of it has to improve. How do we do a better job of getting off the field on third downs and then scoring touchdowns?
How would you assess the play of your wide receivers so far this season?
It was better last week. Again, a developing group. Marquise Triplett's probably our steadiest guy, and he's our oldest guy. He's been here the longest. You know, when you start talking about Casey Martin, who's done a nice job, and Kyle Foster and Mike Thomas, and you know, those guys are all new. Then you take in, you know, Ricard and DJ and Cox, and they're all young guys. They're all guys that are still every day trying to figure it out, playing hard, route running, and they're getting better. So it was nice last week to have some guys have a chance to make plays on the perimeter because, again, that builds confidence. You build in practice, but then being able to make them in games against a quality opponent like Alabama builds confidence. It builds confidence in Nick to throw it to them. It builds in those guys to trust in themselves and that they're capable players. And because not everybody's built to like that from that confidence standpoint. So that was great for our guys, and I think it's a big boost moving forward.
Anything else?
Last time these two teams played back in the 30s, 7-0 game. Are you expecting a different final score?
Holy cow. This has been the craziest year of people comparing. Did you say in the 30s?
In the 30s.
In when?
37. 1937.
I mean, I've heard stuff. We played Mississippi State, it was 23 years ago. I heard Alabama in the 53 team. Now we're going back to the 30s. I don't even know what to say.
It's a semi-joke.
You know, I'm just trying to figure out what they do in 2014 and how they've gotten better in 2013 and how much we've improved. I mean, it's really mirrored teams in a lot of ways. Is okay, went through a lull, and then the improvement we made, and the same with them, the improvement they've made. And we're both trying to get to the same spot to where we can play consistent football week in and week out.